I think it'll take a few weeks. You mentioned the turnaround in the price of crude oil, but still, the dynamics there, if the U.S. does trim oil production via the Texas Railroad Commission, that still doesn't mean that people are going to start hitting the road. So that gasoline is still not as desired of a commodity, and we could see it go further. I think theoretically the bottom at this point could be a national average that breaks multi-decade lows. We could be going back to the low since 2004. If we get to $1.49, we will blow the 2016 and Great Recession lows out of the water. So we have a long way to go. Motorists are getting very giddy at the prospect of sub $2 prices. 20 states now have an average gas price of under $2 a gallon, but we do have a long way to go.
Wow. I mean, I'm listening to you talk about the possibility of $1.49 a gallon. As a consumer, that sounds really exciting in terms of filling up my tank. But if I'm not leaving my house, I mean, how do you balance that, I guess, supply piece of the equation? It certainly seems tricky, especially given the fact that historically low gas prices have always been very stimulative.
Yeah, it's a lot of the tease for Americans who know they should be hunkering down, but they see and they hear of some of these stations that are dropping their price. So unfortunately, low gas prices in this case is certainly not a healthy thing. It's a sign of a very distressed economy, and the fact that people are just watching this. They're not necessarily filling up. Now, the EIA did report a tremendous increase in product supplied last week. That's not unusual. As people start to hunker down, they, as we've seen, make a run on certain items, gasoline being one of them. They want to fill their tanks. But now that people are trying to stay home, now that more cities are locking down, you'll probably start to see gasoline plummet. And along with it, the prices in the weeks ahead should really start to accelerate on the downward side of things.
So if we see prices continue to fall and fall drastically, what does that do to refiners' incentive over the coming weeks, over the coming months, to keep making more?
Well, at least for now. I mean, last week we briefly had a period where the crack spread was negative, meaning that gasoline was valued less than the oil being run into the facility, to the refinery, which is absolutely astounding.
Wow.
But if you see that happen again, do expect for refineries to cut runs. In fact, we're already seeing pipelines scale back planning for less product flowing through those pipelines to keep the flow up. So there is anticipation that there will be run cuts from refineries in order to keep a floor on prices. But really, we're on uncharted territory. We really don't know how many Americans are working from home, how many are going to be staying at home. So look for it to get a little bit worse.
Okay, quickly, Patrick, before we let you go here, is there any chance we could see gas stations go out of business with low gas prices?
Certainly not gas stations. Gas stations are actually in a very rare position here of doing extremely well right now. Prices, they're passing along the decreases much slower. Gas station margins through the roof.